Now we will talk about adventitious roots. What are adventitious roots? Those roots which arise from any other part other than radicle, right? They may be of stem origin or of leaf origin or any other part other than radicle. When those roots get modified, they perform broadly three types of functions. Broadly grouped in three types of functions. First is fleshy, that means perform storing function. Second is mechanical support. Third is for vital functions, some vital functions. When adventitious roots perform some secondary functions other than fixation, absorption of minerals and water, and prevention of soil erosion, we call them as modifications of adventitious roots. These were broadly grouped into three categories. One is fleshy roots, roots for mechanical support, and roots for some vital functions. Now fleshy roots. Fleshy roots are divided into following categories. First is moniliform. Second is annulated. Third is tuberous roots. Fourth is fasciculated roots. Fifth is palmate roots, and finally nodulose roots. That means moniliform, annulated, tuberous, fasciculated, palmate, and nodulous roots. That means when plant adventitious roots get modified and perform the function of storage, those storing roots from their external outlook are of various forms, of various structures. Based on that, they are delimited into following types. One is moniliform, second is annulated, third is tuberous, fourth is fasciculated, palmate, and nodulose, right? When roots help the plant and providing extra support, we call such type of roots as mechanical roots. In them, we have first one is stilt roots, second is prop roots, and third is clinging roots. Clinging roots, right? When roots get modified, perform the function of extra support, we call them as roots for mechanical support. There are three types. One is stilt roots, second is prop roots, and third is clinging roots. And finally, vital functions. When plant roots perform some secondary but important functions, we call them as vital functions. In them, first is parasitic roots, second is assimilatory roots, third is mycorrhizal roots, fourth is epiphytic roots, fifth is contractile roots, sixth is floating root, and finally reproductive roots. Right? When adventitious roots perform some important functions other than primary function, such as parasitic in nature, assimilatory in nature, mycorrhizal in nature, epiphytic in nature, contractile in nature, reproductive in nature, or sometimes floating in nature. That means they perform different functions other than primary functions. We call them as vital functions. Let us start from fleshy roots. First is moniliform roots. Moniliform roots. This is plant. These are the roots of the plant, right? When these roots get modified in such a pattern, form beaded appearance. That means they develop beads. Beaded like appearance. That means not bulgings but at regular intervals. These are bulgings but at regular intervals. These appear like a bead. When plant roots get modified and look like beads, we call them as moniliform roots, right? These beads are not for fixation but they store food. Example is Momordica, right? Second is annulated. Annulated. This is plant. When this root structure gets modified and look like rings, that means it gets modified as when roots get modified and appear like stakes of rings on one another. We call such type of roots as annulated roots. Those roots also store food. As these beaded roots store food, same way these roots also store food, but their outlook, their external morphology is different from moniliform roots. That is why we call them as annulated. Annulus means rings. They have ring-like structures. Is tuberous. Those roots which have irregular shape but store food are called tuberous roots. That means like this. Roots having irregular shape but store food are called tuberous roots. What is the difference between taproot tuberous and adventitious tuberous? That is their origin. Those roots which arise from radicle but perform the function of storage and have irregular shape are called taproot type of tuberous roots, while as those roots which develop from any other part but perform the function of storage but don't have a regular structure are called tuberous roots of adventitious root origin, right? Example is Epomia betata, right? Now fasciculated roots. This is plant. It develops roots in clusters. When roots arise in clusters, but those roots are smaller roots to perform the function of storage. We call such type of roots as fasciculated roots. What are fasciculated roots? Those are storage roots, but their structure, they arise in clusters. They arise in clusters. They are swollen but arise in clusters. That is why we call them as fasciculated roots. Example is asparagus, dahlia, right? Now pomade. When this is plant, its roots arise like palm of a human being. We call such type of roots as pomade roots. When roots arise form a palm-like structure, we call them as pomade roots, right? Example is orchis. Now nodulous roots. When this is a plant, finally is nodulous roots when plant develops roots and their apical positions bulge out. Apical positions bulge out and form a node-like structure, nodule-like structure, we call such type of roots as nodulous roots. What are nodulous roots? Those roots which have swellings or bulgings at their apical positions and appear like nodules. We call them as nodulous roots. They perform the function of storage. Example is Curcuma amada. Right? These were for different types of fleshy roots performing the function of storage. One is moniliform, that means they are beaded, annulated, that means they are ring-like structure. Tuberous, they have irregular structure. Fasciculated, they arise in clusters. Palmate, they look like palm of a human being. Nodulous, they appear as nodules at the apex of root. These were different types of fleshy roots belonging to the category of adventitious root system. Now, after that, we will discuss mechanical roots. Those roots which provide extra support to the plant, we call them as mechanical roots or mechanical support roots. There are following three types. First, we will study stilt roots. This is a plant. This is root. It is root system. From lower nodes of plant, roots arise obliquely and touch to the soil surface or penetrate into the soil surface like this. When plant develops roots from nodes and run obliquely towards the surface of soil and get anchored there like pegs of a tent to provide extra support to the main stem, we call them as stilt roots, right? Example is Zea mays. Zea mays, that means maize plant. Now second is prop roots. In huge trees which are not able to withstand on a single trunk, develop some branches which protrude towards the surface of soil and get fixed within the soil. Result is in extra support to the plant. We call such type of roots as prop roots. Example is banyan tree, Ficus bengalensis. Banyan tree. And third is clinging roots. Some plants having weak stem can't withstand on its own. What they do, they creep on other plants or support. For instance, this is support or a tree. This is a plant. These plants creep on it and develops roots. These roots act as claspers, help this plant to clasp over the main stem. We call such type of roots as clinging roots or climbing roots, usually found in those plants which have weak stem. Example is beetle plant. These were three modifications for providing extra support. One is stilt roots in maize plant, second is prop root, that is in banyan tree, and third is clinging roots in beetle plant. Now vital roots, those roots which perform some extraordinary function. One is parasitic roots. If this is a plant, normal plant, right? If we take small structure of this is a host plant and this is the parasitic plant. This parasitic plant develops roots which penetrate deep into its vascular system. Those roots which develop from stem parts or nodal parts and penetrate deep into the stem of host plant are called parasitic roots. Example is Cuscuta. These parasitic roots are of two types. One are hemiparasites or partial parasites. Second are complete parasites. Those parasitic plants which are totally dependent on host plant can't synthesize their own food. That means they obtain both minerals as well as photosynthesis from the plant. We call such type of plants as whole parasites. While as those plants which can synthesize their own food but are not able to absorb the minerals and water from soil, we call them as hemiparasites, right? Second is assimilatory roots. Those roots which perform the function of photosynthesis are called assimilatory roots. Perform function of photosynthesis. Photosynthesis because they have chlorophyll. Example, Tinospora, right? After assimilatory, we have mycorrhizal roots. When roots of higher plants show association with fungal partners, such type of associations are called mycorrhizal associations. That means those roots are special roots, usually found in higher plants. Roots which have fungal partners within or over the surface. For the purpose of nitrogen fixation, those roots are called mycorrhizal roots. Example, Pinus, Cedrus, etc. After that, epiphytic roots. What are epiphytes? Those plants which arise on other plants, right? When these plants arise on other plants, for attachment, for absorption of minerals and water from air or rain, they develop structures, thread-like structures. These thread-like structures are called epiphytic roots, right? Epiphytic roots. Example is Venda. You all know that roots on their tips develop root caps, but in those roots which don't develop under the soil, don't have root caps. They don't have root caps. Instead, they have mass of cells which is known as velamen. Mass of cells known as velamen instead of root cap. Okay. Now contractile roots. This is plant. Some roots get modified and help the plant in positioning their bulbs within the soil. Those roots are called contractile roots. That means they can shrink as well as relax to fix the bulbs. And there is an example, that is crocus. Finally, reproductive roots. Reproductive roots. When root forms the structure and develops buds, those structures later on help the plant in propagation. We call such type of roots as reproductive roots. Now, another type is reproductive roots. When roots permeate under the soil surface, develop buds, and these buds later on germinate, give rise to new individuals. Such type of roots are called reproductive roots. That means they help the plant in reproduction, propagation. Those are called reproductive roots. Another type is floating roots. Floating roots. In aquatic plants which are rooted floating type, that means float on the surface. This is a water surface. Some plants come out of the water and spread their leaves on the water surface. They develop special roots. Those roots are spongy roots. What is the function of those roots? They maintain buoyancy. That means they help the plant in floating. What are floating roots? Those roots which get modified and form a spongy-like structure and helps the plant in maintaining buoyancy and preventing it from sinking. Such roots are called floating roots. Example is Juicea. Finally is leaf roots. Leaf roots. This is a plant here develops buds after detaching on the ground. These buds germinate and develop roots. Such type of roots which arise from the leaves, we call them as leafy roots. An example is Bryophyll. This was all about today's lecture. In this lecture, we discussed modifications of both taproots as well as adventitious root. In next lecture, inshallah, we will discuss about stem and their modifications. Till then, stay blessed and stay safe.